And again, what if it hasn't occurred yet? Even though they said, yeah, it should have been here by now. It should have been this year for sure. We thought it was last year, and now we tuned it down to this year, but it still didn't happen. But they're still seeing the same types of data coming in the reports. When they missed something in the past, it was a miss. It doesn't show back up. It's done. This time, and in many not this time, but in recent, last 2 years probably, the stuff keeps coming back. The Israeli mistake. Oh, and I remember him saying if it doesn't happen by March of 2010, it drastically goes down of a chance to happen in the data. And then they keep running the reports, and then all of a sudden, wow, it's still there. Ooh, it's actually gaining speed now. And then one time, before the report even came out, I think he was talking on maybe another radio show. It was this year, and he said, by the way, or maybe he even posted on his website. He said, by the way, we've went from 0.8, whatever it was, I think 0.8% chance, the Israeli mistake, Iran war thing going off, to all of a sudden jumping 10 more percent, 10.8% now, out of nowhere. We have to pay attention. The report brought it back, and here it is again. So the way I'm treating the webbot right now, and I have been for a little while, is, okay, I'm reading the reports, I see the bad things that are coming, I'm as confident as they are, and they're reporting that those things are coming. Mass majority of the things they talk about are coming, not just a tiny few. It's just that when they put that label of, oh, this November, this summer, because the data appears to be that way, and they're interpreting it, as he says, they're not perfect, but he interprets it, it looks good, the date looks solid, and then nothing happens. But the whole next year and months after that, it's still in the data. So if it's still there, in other words, it can't be a miss yet because it's still in the data. Sure, they got the date wrong. They're still telling you an event. In other words, the event is still on. It's going to happen still. And as I said, with the longer term data, they're having a hard time now finding out, well, what date is it? We got the month right and stuff, but what about the year? We're like missing the year now. All the stuff we got y'all scared about this year may not have anything to do with this year and be next year. The bottom line is, it's coming. So, for people like me who really pay attention to this thing, I'm taking some of what they say with a grain of salt, but at the same time, I know, man, these things are absolutely highly likely to happen. He's actually saying get ready for November or September, whatever the date is of the event. And I'll know, well, it passed by, but I'm still watching these other reports coming out, and it's still in the data. Therefore, my alarm or my radar is still out there listening, paying attention. I'm not going to get freaked out about it. I'm not going to be on my toes. There's nothing you can do. Everything is in place. The snowball is already rolling downhill. And now people are arguing at the bottom of the hill. Oh, well, they said the snowball would be here yesterday. This is stupid. You guys are dumb for watching this webbot thing. You guys are a bunch of idiots. But wait a minute. They told you the snowball was coming downhill. It is coming, right? Yeah, well, yeah. But they said it'd be here yesterday, so it's not coming. You guys are dumb for paying attention. So we all still say, you know what, we're not going to that hill. We're going to back off a little bit. And sure enough, the snowball smacks down and wipes a bunch of people out. Hey, and then we get to stand up. Hey, the webbot right again, even though the date was wrong. So the webbot really needs to be kind of like Lindsey Williams, where he basically said these elitists, they don't work off of a timeline where, oh, on this date we're going to do that, and 5 months from then we're going to do this. They're going to try to do that. But when they have a timeline of events out, these elitists, it's simply, we're going to do this, however long that takes, and we'd like to do it within this time frame, but we're going to do that first. After we're done with that, then we're going to collapse this. After we do that, we're going to collapse that poor country, put the IMF in there, give them loans, and after that takes place, then we're going to do this, and we're going to start a war over here. It may not be perfectly timed. It may be years before they accomplish these things when they thought, oh, it'll only take us 2 years, and now next thing it took them 5, 6, 7, 8 years to do it. The nice thing about the webbot is it has a good track record of getting dates precisely down on the date or sometimes a day or two after. That's it. I mean, it's like phenomenal. And then the times come where they miss big things that you were like, whoa, the summer of hell or the big global coastal event, the fleeing of millions of people going past the 40-degree latitude. What's up with that? Well, 20 million people did get affected by a coastal flooding, or well, I guess it wasn't the coast, but it was a flooding. It doesn't really fit. But 20 million people did get displaced via, diaspora. Was that it? Did they get some of the thing wrong? Who knows? But I'm glad that I paid attention to it and prepared. You may find that that was absolutely not it. The little 20 million people in Pakistan had nothing to do with it. Forget that. Wipe it out of your memory. The global coastal event is still on. It's still going to be here sometime soon, next year, whatever, soon. Just be prepared. That's it. Take their data, hold on to it, and wait for it, because I can assure you most of what they said is coming is actually coming. They just miss the date sometimes, and I've already seen multiple times where they got the year wrong, and then next year some things have popped out. Whoa, that was what they were talking about. You know, kind of like this mortgage thing. 25 million people no longer going to get foreclosed on. They talked about that in '08. They were expecting it in '09. Here we are more than halfway through with 2010, and it happened. So, anyways, kind of a web bot hit, you could say. Maybe it's going to get much worse. Maybe it's a little pre-echo of what's to come, and that's childish. 25 million is childish. It's going to be the whole nation who quits paying mortgages due to something. You know, who knows? So anyways, I just want to share that with you. Don't discount the web bot. It's not a good idea. It provides valuable information that you can hang on to. Forget the dates for right now, because things just like this thing in November, this big tipping point from November 8th approximately for a few days thereafter. It's going to be the biggest tipping point known to mankind, apparently, in the webbot world anyways, whatever it is. I'm feeling it's going to be the markets crashing, possible war with Iran, you know, multiple things going on so that you can't really focus on one thing, and you're going to focus on whatever's, you know, hurting you the most. Who knows? I don't know. But whatever it is, looks like it's this November. So if all these things start crashing in November, and all these predictions that they've been talking about really start to take shape, you're going to have the summer of hell coming up big time next year. You're going to have food shortages coming up. You're going to have the complete collapse of the dollar already taking place and getting worse. You're going to have a lot of the big things they talked about. And then throw in some Mother Nature in there that's getting worse as we get closer to 2012, which is, it's clearly getting worse. And then you have floods or earthquakes or other things that just get worse and worse and worse on top of those other things I just mentioned. You're going to have a summer of hell. You're going to have a big problem. You know, all of us are. So, you know, people always say, oh, you guys are stupid for watching that thing, paying attention. It's so dumb. It's fantasy. It's like Nostradamus. Well, no, not quite. It's fascinating to see this thing work and nail things that you say there's no way it would know about that. There's no way it could have even guessed about that. And there's no way that people online were even talking about that and it got that thing right. So if this thing goes and looks at what people are writing about, how the hell is it pulling that data out of there? I don't know. But it works. Most of the time. Not all the time. And now we're finding, in recent times, with the longer term data that was forecast years ago, that they're really focusing in on now, it's not accurately predicted by them as far as the dates go. It's like, it just comes and goes, but it keeps coming up in the report after that, after that, after that. So it's still on. Keep your radar on. That's it, basically. So, talk to you guys later.